Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Hourlings Podcast Project. My name is Martin Wilsey and I'm your host. And tonight we got a little different episode, kind of a special episode. As you recall, and you'll find in the comments at the bottom, our first show of the year, we spent the entire show talking about our goals for 2021. We decided as a group that we would all get together at 6 months and see exactly how we were doing. I have in my notes here, I just rewatched the episode, so I have all the goals listed here. I guess we'll start with me. I'll go first to see how I'm doing.
Just for the record, that was episode 11 for anybody who wants to go back and rewatch it before they make fun of us.
Yeah, I'll have a link in the comments so that people can go back and watch it. So, all right. So I'll start off. Here are the goals that I stated there very concisely. I would publish this year 2 new novels, 4 short stories, the anthology for the Hourlings called Restless Spirits, and continue the podcast to see how the podcast is doing. That my personal goal was to lose my COVID weight. I had gained 30 pounds in 2020. So how am I doing? All right, so I'm actually doing a little bit better than my goals said. I have actually already written the 4 short stories that was in my goal. In addition to that, I have compiled a collection of my short stories. It's going to be 300 pages collection of all the short stories that I have written in the last 6 years. And that is currently going to be published in the next couple weeks. That wasn't even on my radar back in January. I just, when I finished writing some short stories, I always had been adding them to this collection file. And suddenly I realized that it was over 300 pages and it was time to think about starting to put together. So that's kind of exciting. That's going to be the next thing that gets published out the door. That'll be fun. Now my novels, I'm on like draft number 4 of my next novel. It had a title change. In January, the working title was called The Sect Chief. The title has been changed to The Law of Lumina. And I've gotten the cover, I've gotten multiple drafts already run through, and I'm currently in the final phases of actually doing the cuts and the tuning and polishing. And I usually end up going through it about 10 times before I turn it over to an editor. So that'll be fun. I already have a very verbose outline for the novel after this one. It's called Time Enough. It's a time travel novel. I have a very complicated spreadsheet that tracks the timelines in there because time travel can get really wild when you start looping back on yourself. And that novel is going to be a lot of fun because it's a completely standalone novel. It doesn't have anything to do with any of the other novels that I've written. In addition to that, our group's putting together another anthology. This one's going to be all of ghost stories. That's going to be good. Our technical deadline for that is September 1st. If we get all the submissions by September 1st, I'll be surprised. It could happen. It could happen. That's good. I'm getting fit. I'm down 5 pounds. And I got to do some more of that. So I'm doing pretty good on my goals. And I'm not working too hard. I am enjoying it, drinking coffee, making stuff up. I am doing pretty good. I'm kind of proud of myself because I think I had really realistic goals at the beginning of the year. And my schedule was already mapped. So it was pretty easy for me to track the goals that I was looking for. Any comments?
Now we need the next person who goes to just be a total failure on goals because our listeners are going to feel really bad hearing that Marty has exceeded his goals.
That's right.
Then Jeffrey, you go.
Well, yeah, we can. I can go. I mean, No, I mean, it's not so much fails, but
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
no. But all right. So,
All right, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I know. I will go next.
All right. So
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
vlogging. I'm going to go back to the vlog.
Here's what Jeffrey had stated his goals were going to be.
Mhm.
He needed to. He's working on a project called Chronosphere, and Project Chronosphere, and at the time when January he was beginning his outlining process, and his plan was during the year that he was going to outline it, write it, have it edited, and published before the year's end. His other secondary goal was that he was going to find a way to learn how to enjoy blogging again. So how you doing, Jeffrey?
Yeah. So blogging. I hate blogging. I just hate it. I'll tell you what. I am very much on the social networks, and I get annoyed. In fact, email right now, I am about 500 emails that I have yet to look at in the last month. I've been just too busy. But the thing is that one other thing I alluded to is that I was making major changes. And in fact, that might dovetail well into what I'm about to say about my novel. Novel's actually on good progress. I'm very happy with where I am, even though I'm not where I wanted to be. Because I did say that I want to have my outline done by the end of March. And it was, but it was a crap outline. But Marty, you helped me. I appreciate that. But then I just said, I'm going to start writing. But the thing is, what happened around that end of March and the end of March and or whatever. Well, the point is, around that time period, my mom died. So the outline was not as good as it could have been because I was worried about her getting sick, and I started my novel a couple weeks later than I had hoped. And then another change that I wanted to make, and I'm going to make, there's a couple of things. I wanted to pay off my car. And I had a goal of paying off my car by the end of the year. And then I considered moving it up. And there's a good chance by the time you watch this, it will be paid off, which is good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's going to take a good chunk of my savings, but at least I'll have that debt off my weight off my.
Cool.
And I'm going to be less stressful for that. Yeah, I don't know how much detail I want to make public on that, but the point is that I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, and I'm hoping that finding a new place and starting a better life will work out for me. But that stuff that I'm implying has also cut into my June and made me much less productive in June, because I said I wanted to have this done. This novel, first draft, but not done in the conventional sense, just done the first draft by the time you're watching this video.
Well, Jeffrey, life stuff happens.
Fortunately,
and you deal with it.
It has knocked me.
It takes precedence.
Okay.
That's all there is.
Yeah,
We'll give you a partial.
that's all there is. I'm not shaming myself.
Well,
I'm not
here's an
shaming myself.
interesting thing. I believe it's important to have goals. And one of the things you got to understand is having goals is good because you got to have a target to shoot at. But then you understand the complexity of your life and the way, stuff happens and how you can tune it so that you can actually attain goals.
Right.
Some things
And you
can control,
revise.
some things you can't.
It-
But it's
it's
always good
Bayesian.
to have goals.
You revise your goals in a Bayesian way. You reevaluate the priors and the posteriors, and you realize that maybe the end of July is a better date, and at least I can try for that. And who knows?
And I just
But
gotta
will say this.
I just got to also say, I have really thoroughly enjoyed bugging you about writing this novel.
And I
Constantly
like it.
bothering you about it.
I like it.
He's totally
I
right.
love the
He
ribbing.
totally enjoys it. I believe.
I don't even mind the ribbing about, and this may be a goal going forward, which I still have in the back of my mind of something I want to do is read more fiction. You guys have been bugging me about that. I agree.
Yes,
I
and so
do
we
need to
should.
read more
Yeah,
fiction.
maybe
I also need a
the second
30-hour
part
day.
of our segment, that's the kind of goals for the next 6 months we can talk about.
Yeah, that is something that I'm hoping to do.
Okay.
And you will call me out on that and then look at me and say, why did you only read one novel? But that's another problem. I don't know what I'm going to do next year in the next 6 months, but I do know this. The novel has 54,000 words in it as of this when you're watching this, maybe even more. And that is indeed technically already a novel. The only reason it's not done is because I have a whole other act that I want to add to it. And so when that act is written and done, it will be done. So in that sense, yeah,
I'm going
and
to
I'm going to make it happen.
If it's 50,000 words and it doesn't have an ending, it doesn't matter what the length is. It's still not a friggin' novel.
Exactly. It's not done yet. But I was pointing in terms of had this been a NaNoWriMo, I'd be a shite NaNoWriMo because these guys do it in a month. But even so, I at least have a NaNoWriMo's worth of writing, and I'm going to add more, and that is my plan. And my goal, by the way, was to, around September, maybe no later than October, hire the editor. I already have a bit of a cover, thanks to Marty. Marty helped me find a cover for the book. There's a bit of editing to the cover, but nothing that a bit of gimping, GIMP, the photo editor, can handle. And I'm not worried about the cover. Blurbs and all that stuff. David, you gave me a really good elevator rock pitch, whatever you call it. A log line.
Elevator log line, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have helped me with this, and I'm very, very confident that I can actually get this thing done because of where I am right now, that I'm not actually as far behind as I'd worried. And I know where I'm going, and I don't know, maybe this third act is actually going to be pretty short because I know what has to happen, and I'm actually pretty close to that. But I'm excited. It's getting done. It's going to get edited. It's going to be released, but that editing is going to be first me Grammarlying it and visualing it and have it read to me and read to me and read to me and tweak before I even send it to the editor, beta readers, edit again, and then press print. That is the goal, and it shall be done.
So who's up next?
I'll go.
Okay, Shay, here's your list.
All right.
Let's see. You had talked about kind of a hybrid set of goals that you had this year. We'll start with the traditional publishing goals. At the time, you were working on a proposal for a nonfiction book associated with hockey. I'll let you talk about that a little bit more. Your next goal is you wanted to finish a YA manuscript that you had been working on. Your prime goal, your priority goal, was to start and complete your thesis so you could graduate from college. You also had the secondary goal of you wanted to indie publish one of the novels that you had written that you didn't believe was a good fit for your traditional publishers. And on the personal side, you wanted to start getting up early. So Shay, how'd you do?
All right. I say it's a mixed bag. So the primary goal of the thesis, I did graduate college, so that was completed, and the thesis earned me cum laude graduation, which is great, from the University of Virginia. So that is a success. Check that off. Big check mark on that one.
I'd like to read your
let's
thesis.
see, the hockey book. Sure, I'll send it to you.
Cool.
Thank you. I'm complimented. The hockey book was just a proposal at that point, as you mentioned, and we were just putting it on sub in a few weeks to editors. That has been sold to a publisher, which is great. And I'm not going to reveal the name of the publisher just yet because we're still, the contract is almost at 100% complete, but before everything, all the ink is dry, I'm not going to say anymore, but that is very exciting. So now that means I have to write the whole thing, which puts me at a position where I need to put aside overboard just a little bit, the one I wanted to self-publish. So now I need to prioritize writing this hockey book for the publisher, and my overboard goal might not happen anymore in 2021. Wah, wah, wah.
Mm.
But 2022, I'm hoping to push it to maybe the spring of 2022. I think that's a good reason to have a shift
Yeah.
in your full-time on. So I'm not too
A
upset
contract
about
that
that.
brings in money is acceptable.
Mhm.
Acceptable for a goal shift.
Mhm.
Now, as for getting up early, I have gone totally the other way in the fact that I've become an activist of people who don't want to get up early. I am a night owl defender. So I have not succeeded in that goal.
Fail.
And I no longer know if it's a goal that I am going to continue to pursue.
Well, at least
At
I'll
least
have
not
someone to
this
chat
time.
with at 3 a.m.
There
I
you
think that
go.
might count as a fail.
So that's a mixed bag.
Okay, David, your goals.
Okay.
I think you had the most ambitious list of everybody. I'll be interested to hear where you are with this. Your list was as follows. This year, you are going to publish 2 novels, 2 anthologies, 2 novelettes, plus personal goals. You were going to get another dog, and your wife didn't know this at the time. And also, by January, you're going to have 6-pack abs. So, Dave, how's those abs coming?
Well, let's see. If I lean back like this, I can balance a 6-pack on my abs right now.
Took your shirt.
So that's probably, well, I have 6 months, so we won't call it a failure.
Yeah. There's nothing like Thanksgiving or something like that to be anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. About the dog, I have broached the conversation with the wife. I'm gradually wearing away her resistance. So I suspect that we will get a dog in the normal fashion. We'll just go to PetSmart when the Lost Dog Rescue League just happens to be there, and we will magically fall in love with the puppy and leave with that dog, which has happened not once but twice before. And even before that with a previous rescue league and a dog. So yeah, I think that one's in progress. Now, let's see. The 2 novels, I have Clash by Night, which is done. I've got a couple the text is done. I've got a couple graphics that I need to finish, and then I can publish that. I'm expecting to publish that in July, come hell or high water. That'll, like I said, be my first actual novel published. I have another one called Finders Keepers.
Good story.
I have a version of that is complete. It needs some edits because I'm adding a little bit more of a B plot to it, which I think it needs for a solo publication. And I desperately need a cover for that. I think I may have to actually commission that one. I think that will be published this year. The text will certainly be ready. The cover is going to be finding the right cover is probably going to be the hardest part for me. The novelettes, Death Comes to Town and Road Trip. For both of those, the text is done. For Death Comes to Town, I found the perfect cover, but I can't seem to actually get the artist to respond to his emails or messages on Facebook or his messages on ArtStation. So I may have to find an alternate cover for that.
But David, when do you think is a good time to give up when you try something like that? I mean, obviously you're almost there.
I'm pretty close. I mean, there's a point there where you're stalking the artist and you've got to kind of stop.
Yeah.
But it's like, geez, dude, you've already done the work. I'm giving you, I want to give you free money.
Free money, yeah.
Email. It's kind of irritating. And he's a great artist. I would love to use him again for other stuff. Road Trip needs a cover. This is, I think it's a pretty cool urban fantasy story. I think I've come up with a cover concept. I'm going to have to put it together myself from pieces. I've already gotten some of the pieces. I usually prefer to actually get a customer from an artist rather than have to assemble the pieces myself, but I do have the Photoshop skills. So they will both be published this year. It's just the cover issue is just killing me right now. And on the 2 anthologies, the first is The Forever Inn, which is an anthology about an ancient magical tavern that travels the multiverse with a cast of characters. It's sort of a shared universe with a bunch of different authors, including Marty participating. That is scheduled actually for a September publication. And I think I'm making pretty good progress on it. Also, Stephanie, who will also be interviewed as part of this goals episode, has a story in it as well. Okay. The second anthology I'm going to publish, Fantastic Detectives, which is a at least a thematic sequel to an anthology that I worked on with my co-editor, Donna Royston, a few years ago. Actually, it was just about ready to go out. I don't think allowing time for authors to write their stories, submit them, and get through the editing process and the publication process, I think that is going to slide into probably March or so of 2020, just looking at a realistic anthology publication schedule. So that one's going to be, at least for 2021, that's going to be a fail. I also have some other things that I have accomplished, which weren't on my goal list. One is I've done a reissue with a new cover and a new title of a story called An Unlikely Hero now.
Good story.
It was my first published story and solo published story, and it brings it in line with the better covers and better typography and stuff, and better formatting, honestly, of my later books.
And a better title.
And, I did a hardcover release of that earlier anthology I was talking about, Fantastic Defenders, and I'm looking for sales of Fantastic Detectives to help goose the sales of the older anthology as well. Planning kind of a dual marketing campaign for that. But again, I think that second anthology is going to slide into 2022. Also, Marty mentioned Restless Spirits. I have a story that I'm aiming at that, which apparently I have to get done by September 1st, because I refuse to be the
long pole in the tent.
Yeah, like usual.
Again.
Okay, so overall, I think I'm in pretty decent shape. The bane of my existence, as always,
Yeah, I think
is finding the right covers, because I pretty much want my covers to be what I would consider to be as professional as any traditional publisher, and not an obvious kind of second-rate indie published cover as you see on some works. And that's finding the right cover, just a pain in the butt. Marty's nodding his head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really important too. Very important. We've had whole episodes on how important it is.
Yeah. So overall, I think I'm in pretty decent shape. Clearly, one of the goals isn't going to be met, but I've also accomplished some other things that weren't part of my goal list. So I'm reasonably happy with where I am right now. I would like to get something published in July, September, October, so I can really kind of ramp up that continuing marketing campaign.
Yeah.
That's it for
I'm
me.
not totally sorry. Go ahead, David.
So I think I'm in pretty decent shape, but I would like to have already have published something else by now.
Yeah. No, but David, I think you've done a really good job this year. I've been watching you. You've been doing a good job so far. I have confidence.
Covers, man. Covers.
Oh, I know. Thanks for Marty helping me.
So if you had watched the episode from January down in the comments, you'll see that Stephanie Miro was also with us January 2nd. So through the magic of YouTube, we're going to go quickly to Stephanie Miro, who happens to have just moved to Georgia. So we're switching over for a second. Be right back. So now we have Stephanie Miro from across space and time. Thanks to technology, we're able to include her in this episode. She has been a busy author. So I'll start off by talking about the goals that she did in January. The first goal was she wanted to finish off the 7 books in the Phoenix series. She also wanted to write a short story. She wanted to do some more learning and growing on the business side associated with marketing and time management. And plus, like the rest of us, she wanted to get a handle on the weight she gained during COVID. Stephanie, how you doing?
Well, I mean, besides that reminder, I'm doing good. Living in chaos as usual. So,
yeah, in fact, one of the reasons why she wasn't live with the episode was she was moving on that particular day.
Yeah, we're just a strange people in this house, and we make impulsive decisions like uprooting our entire lives and moving states. And we moved from Virginia to Georgia. And when people ask us, like, why Georgia? Do you have family in Georgia? We're like, no, we've never been. So besides the Atlanta airport, I've never actually been to Georgia. So we're doing this move mostly because we can. My husband works from home full-time at this point. My job is working from home, basically, or wherever I want. I have 2 kids at home, and they will be starting kindergarten and preschool this fall. So we can literally do that anywhere.
Yeah.
So we kind of literally just
houses in
uprooted
Georgia are way
everything.
cheaper.
Yes, that was a big draw. My mother-in-law is, she co-owned the previous house with us in Virginia. And she's a high school English teacher. And after doing a year in the COVID landscape, she decided we all decided it would be best if she retired early. So this move kind of helped make that happen.
Cool. So to your goals, how's that going? The 6-month check-in.
Yeah, so 6 months. So I haven't published all 7 books. So that's number 1, is the 7 books in the last Phoenix series. I have published 4, and I'm working on 5. 5 is it's coming along, and it's probably going to end up being one of my favorite books, but just with the move and everything else we decided to do all at once, it just has gotten a little bit more delayed than I had hoped. So chances are I won't do all 7 books in 2021, but I should get 6, and then 7 will come shortly into 2022. That's my goal, my new goal.
Short story, how's that going?
Short story was good. So it hasn't been published in the anthology yet. The person who is putting together the anthology, she runs a ton of anthologies and box sets and stuff like that. She's a very busy person and also a writer on top of that. And this was kind of, I want to say like an ad hoc. It wasn't a sign up anthology. She had approached me. So we kind of keep pushing the deadline back and back to allow her like the flexibility in her schedule and my schedule and the other authors' schedules to focus on other items that have stricter deadlines. But the short story is out there. I use it right now as my reader magnet. So it's to draw readers in. It's urban fantasy, and hopefully get people interested in my books once they get a sample of my writing. So that's going well.
Good.
Yep.
All right. So what about the rest?
So we'll just we'll skip past the COVID wait. But I will be. That's my fall goal. Once everybody's out of the house, the kids, and I can have a little bit more me time. That will definitely be a priority. But in terms of marketing, I'm slowly but surely figuring it out. I'm happy to say that the Phoenix series is doing really, really well, and mostly just doing Facebook ads, and then promo and Facebook groups and stuff like that when I can. But that's working out really, really well. I've been very surprised, I guess, because I blew past my goal for the end of 2021 financially. So now I have to rethink my goals and just keep going from there. So that's going well.
Cool.
Yeah.
And your time management, is that under control yet?
No. Sadly, no. It's one of those, like, with everything going on, I feel like I have gotten worse at time management. But I'm giving myself the grace that this is just the time of my life, and things will be getting better once we're settled into this new space and new schedule.
So any brand new goals that you want to hit before next January?
Before next January?
Or it's still the same list?
It's really still the same stuff. Same
Oh,
stuff.
that's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Well,
Yeah,
I think 4 out of 7, you're rocking and rolling. I think you're right on pace. If
I'm
you,
hopeful.
actually get that time management under control,
I know.
it'll be happening.
It's hard. It's hard, but
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm making it happen. I will make it happen.
Yeah. So, get those boxes unpacked.
I'm working on it.
So any closing thoughts before we go back to the real timeline here?
I wish I had some profound thoughts, but really I don't. I was just happy to find this guy in a box. That's my thought. I plug him in. Oh wait, let me show you. I'll plug him in. Oh no, I don't even have a USB plug in this computer. Oh, sad. I'm gonna have to get the connector, but he lights up. He's my Christmas cactus. That's it.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Well, we'll see you right after Christmas for the next talk about goals.
I'll make
that's
sure to
cool.
have him lit up by that time.
All right, Stephanie, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you, Marty. Bye
Ciao.
bye.
Okay, we're back. Stephanie, good job. Keep it up. That's
Yeah, well done.
ambitious schedule that you're maintaining for having two
Yeah,
small
that's awesome.
children at the same time. It's
Damn,
kind
I know,
of
and
insane,
moving.
really. I don't know how you do it.
You're
Really.
making us all look bad.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I'm gonna have to kick
I
you.
know.
That's all there is to it.
So before we close up, you guys got any goals you want to add to the list that we can talk about in January? Anything that's come up that you didn't even think of then?
Well, I will say this. I mean, blog, yes, I'm giving it the middle finger right now, but I'm not saying never. There may be occasions when I want to write something up, and I will. And at some point, maybe I will make this. Oh, and by the way, we've just recorded 40 more episodes of the Hourlings podcast, and here they all are, kind of thing. But for the record, we'll see. And as for reading, yeah, I'm reading my audiobooks now at twice the speed. So now every 1 minute is actually 30 seconds for me. And I'm hoping that by doubling the speed of the audiobooks that I listen to, I'll find more time for fiction. So who knows?
Cool. What about you guys? Anything else you're going to add to your goals this year? Or you got a big enough pile?
Nope, I got one. So I've been trying to kind of amp up my my author platform, which for those who maybe aren't familiar with an author platform, it consists of all the different touch points you have potentially with readers and people who might want to, say purchase your work. So that includes an author Facebook page for myself. I actually have a second author Facebook page for my nonfiction stuff. It includes a newsletter that I'll be coming out with shortly to promote my work and fun stuff. I'm always talking about classic science fiction novels and stuff, so I want to, keep people updated on stuff like that. So that author platform and the newsletter in particular are things that I'm looking to get really going this year as well.
Cool.
Cool.
Shay, you got anything to add?
Yes, I'm going to stay up later. That's my goal.
Ha
Stay up 2 hours later every
3
night.
a.m. chats.
Until, if I keep doing that, if I stay up 2 hours later every night, I'll start
That's
to get
right.
bored. That's
I mean,
right,
you're
that's all
just
it is.
moving across. You're moving across time zones. You're right now maybe in Alaska or Hawaii, and eventually get into Russia, and then you'll be in France, and then eventually you'll be here.
There you go. That's it for
Well,
me.
the actual goal that I think that I'm going to add second half of 2021 is I was originally going to wait to do author appearances to 2022. I think I'm going to try to sneak in a few book signings in the next couple quarters.
That's absolutely a good idea.
The world has opened up enough that I'm comfortable doing it, and I'm looking forward to it. After this next book gets released, I think I'm going to do another book signing.
Yeah,
So that'll be
cases are
fun.
really down. Cases are really down. Virginia says if you're vaccinated, you don't need a mask. I mean, These are good times, guys. The
Yeah.
world's coming back.
I'm kind of looking at that, but I still kind of want to know by the end of the summer what the Delta.
Oh,
variant
peace. Be
is.
safe. Be
So
safe.
maybe I'm being a little bit extra cautious.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
But I have some opportunities in the last quarter, and I'm kind of like, do I pull the trigger on those or not?
Yep.
I miss live events.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Big
me
time.
too. Me too.
It's I love the interaction. I always learn something. It's great to be able to get out there into the universe and
But I think it is fair to tell, because you'll be watching this in hopefully July, that we, the Hourlings, our original group, are actually going to meet in person for the first time since early 2020.
that's
So
right.
at least welcome back, meeting you guys in person.
Cool. Okay, guys, I guess that's it for today. Another good episode.
Finally
Good luck
structured.
with your goals for the rest of the year.
Y'all
Making
too.
it happen. Keep making
Indeed.
it happen.
Mhm.
We'll see you next week.